Today is a early stream again because I have to leave early today. So, but I wanted to watch this video and then play some ZZZ because I was trying to get the new character, but I keep keep bricking every time I get enough pulls. I don't know if I'm gonna get enough to pull on stream today, but we will see. But for further ado, we're gonna get into this video. Has ZZZ finally become greedy and stupid by Ketty the 7th. Great guy. I've seen his videos sometimes. I forget to subscribe, so I'll subscribe now. And we're gonna get right into it. Please make sure to check out his video as well. And here we go.
Gonna find a way to make the game counter or fight against Miyabi.
Part of the cause of this is HP inflation.
Because I will be making this into a video, so please make sure to leave a like and subscribe as well. But here we go.
We're tying all this back to the HP inflation.
Today, we're talking about HP inflation.
HP inflation.
HP inflation.
Now, I'm not gonna lie, yeah, the HP though, it is crazy. You know, like you have to level up like one primary team, and then at that, and then once you get to a point where, oh, you need a void team, you need this team. It gets a lot, especially with the super tanky bosses that take like 20 minutes to kill sometimes if you don't have like a super optimized team.
Inflation's outpacing the average of characters.
HP inflation is only a problem if you are dog shit at the game.
I personally struggle a lot.
If ZZZ keeps inflating the HP in response to the clears of the sweatiest players, it will lose its casual player base, which could be the end of the game.
Right now, today, our roster can still clear, but if this trend continues aggressively, it will become a problem. It's important to note that this is heavily anti-consumer. It pushes players away from...
I like the editing they did for this intro. It's very nice. But, alas, though, they do need to fix HP because, like, I just started liking to play the game just because of some of the characters, but the HP is getting really annoying the more they persist. I was barely playing before, but now I'm playing a lot more because some of the characters they're releasing I like, though.
Pulling who they like and more towards pulling who they need. That tension exists in every gacha, but
as I say that, he says the same statement.
HP inflation tilts the scale even further toward meta chasing. At this point, it no longer feels like a natural balance adjustment. It just feels like raw inflation to make clears harder. Last cycle, you scraped by. This cycle, you didn't clear. Not because you built wrong, or you played poorly, or you pulled wrong, but because HP spiked. When HP inflation gets so steep that you're practically forced into specific characters just to clear it all, it stops being about matchups and starts being about mandatory pulls. That's not healthy design.
Truth be told, I feel like I'm a little bit late on this, as it seems this entire conversation around ZZZ and its in-game content is reaching ahead, and feels like the community has been completely divided on multiple fronts when it comes to the topic. And every day I see more and more fighting amongst ourselves that will ultimately just lead to nowhere. So today, I would like to start over and go back to the beginning, work our way down the line, and go over everything that has happened to the game, break it all down, speak on some objective facts, and speak my own truth on the matter. Welcome to my channel. My name is Ketty the 7th.
I'll be honest, I made a mistake. I thought he was I'm forgetting his name right now, but the one I thought he was the Asian guy, the one that wears the glasses. He does like all the deep, like the real big deep dives on like Wuwa and ZZ and stuff. I forget his name. I follow him though, because that was the first guy he flashed. So I thought that was who was about to talk to me, but alas, we're gonna continue.
And I'll be your host today.
I just wanted that to be known because I thought it was kind of funny.
Chapter 1. The Dawn of a New Game. On July 4th, 2024, a heavily anticipated Hoyo game has finally hit the gacha market after almost 2 years from the first teaser back on May 13th, 2022. And due to the popularity of other Hoyo brands, such as Genshin Impact and Honkai Star Rail, many players were eager to give this new action RPG a shot. But to say things started off great would be falling very short of the truth, as the game's launch was negatively received by many. And while there were a multitude of reasons, the one that stuck to me the most was the combat was too easy. And when you had literal clips of content creators being able to clear the in-game content while being blindfolded, it ended up creating a significant portion of the player base saying that they can just mash to win. And when the combat was such a big selling point for your brand new action RPG, that ended up not being too good of a look.
They have gotten better with some of the new bosses and enemies, so it's been getting better.
So between patches 1.0 to 1.3 for the in-game content in Zenless Zone Zero, almost anything and everything was beating the game with ease. It didn't matter if people had really bad builds, their agent skills weren't leveled, or even some were using teams with little to no synergy. At the end of the day, they were still clearing the game with relative ease. But because of this, it always put ZZZ in a bad light for anyone trying up the game that wanted more of a challenge. From terms being thrown around such as baby game, this is a mash fest, or my favorite, skillless zone zero. It was pretty clear how a lot of people outside of the community really felt, to the point where even some made skits to make fun of the game even more, while trying to boost up others in the space simultaneously. And I know some players in the space still haven't come to terms with this yet, but there was a little bit of truth in their words, even if a lot of it was over-exaggerated. Let me explain. From July 4th to December 17th of 2024, the game that we played back then is nothing to what we have now, combat-wise. From being limited mechanically by forced QTEs on chain attacks, heavily limiting our combos, to only having one ultimate shared across the entire team, making any agent who isn't a damage dealer practically have no ultimate inside their entire kit, and in-game HP being so low that you never once had to A, interact with enemy mechanics, or B, learn how to play your team better. For a painstaking 5 months, we were locked into limited creativity in a game that didn't feel rewarding unless you were just a die-hard fan such as myself. And while patch 1.1 did help to a certain extent with creativity by adding manual chain attacks, it still felt like something was missing. So the beginning of the game was a lot of growing pains that we as a community had to overcome. However, that script would soon flip on its head shortly after, on December 18th, 2024, as in-game content would change forever. Chapter 2, The Turning Point.
We got her so early too. I think that's probably why.
Saying patch 1.4 breathed life into the game would be quite an understatement,
That's just
as 1.4 was truly the turning point for Zenless Zone Zero. By serving as a soft relaunch for the game to incentivize new players to give it a try and inspire old players to return. And they did this by giving out satisfactory rewards, while also giving away a free S-Rank DPS agent in Haramasa, while also releasing the most anticipated agent in the game's short history, Miyabi. But the most important thing for me was the changes to the combat. By completely overhauling the old Decibel system and introducing a new in-game mode. But still to this day, some players will downplay how big of a change this actually was. So please allow me to explain.
combat is definitely way better than how it felt before, and I can attest to that because that's exactly why I play it more now. Just they need to fix the HP inflation is the main issue.
Allowing every ultimate to be used on your team is more than just a damage increase. It's more than just mere style points. It was a fundamental change to how we approach the game as a whole, as ultimates from supports such as Nicole, Sokaku, and Lucy gave more energy to your team. Ultimates from stun agents allowed for not only quicker, but more controlled timing to stun enemies. And defense agents like Caesar could finally use their ultimate and do... This completely changed teams' rotations, and it opened up a new level of skill.
That was funny. I'm not gonna, bro. Her ultimate is it looks so dog. I don't know why they did her like that. And then also her old design was way better. Her concept design.
Player expression. And by combining the decibel change with the manual chain attacks added back in 1.1, they finally gave those who wanted more everything they needed, while still making the game more fun for those on the casual side of the audience as well. So no matter what kind of player you were, this was a win for everyone. And what better way to show this newfound player expression than with a new game mode that gave you the ability to perfect your team's rotations and strategies in the new Deadly Assault. When Deadly Assault first came out, it was incredible, as getting all the premium rewards were set at a low bar, while still allowing those who wanted to push their teams to the limit. And for the first 6 months of the game mode, every single reset, we would see players from around the world discover new combos, rotations, agent techs, and synergies. Watching the community come together to perfect things while letting players who are on the casual side not have